Good morning. So it has been a while since I've last put a video out. It's not because I haven't been fishing over the winter. I've been out on the boat and I've been targeting pike, which I do plan to bring a video out on, but that is proving a little bit more tricky than what I first thought. Now, not on the fishing side of things, but trying to film in a boat is a little bit of a nightmare. But today I've came out to my local and I'm going to be out for a carp, which will be the first carp fishing session of 2025 for me. Now I've just got here, it's just gone first light, and I have dropped down to the opposite end of the lake to where I usually fish, because I always like the look of this area. I'm just going to stand here for 5 minutes just to see if I can see anything. Now I have dropped the gear in the swim opposite where I've fished before, because they do tend to hold up there in the winter, although to be fair there is a lot of fish in here and I've seen a couple over there, but I did want to come down here just to have a little bit of a look. So I'm going to stand here for 5 minutes or so, and if I don't see anything we'll head back over there and get the rods out. Right, I've seen absolutely nothing there. The only shows I've seen have been in that swim in the corner. So I'm just heading back there now, and just on my way I'll just stop off by the wee shed and get my mat and net, because where we are do provide all their own, which saves me from bringing mine. Right, that's the first rod ready to go, and I just thought I'd show you quickly what exactly I'm using. Now I've probably got what is an 8-inch hook length. It's a coated braid, and the only bit of strip back is the bit on the hair. I've got that down to size 6 hook, a little bit of shrink tube as a kicker, and on the lead end I'm just fishing the lead clip, but I haven't put the pin in, so I'll be fishing that free running. I'm just going to put it up this margin. You can see it's really snaggy up there, so we'll have to fish locked up. I haven't gotten too tight either. I'm just going to fish a spread, a boilie over the top of that. Right, that's the second rod ready to go. Probably just going to fish this one out in open water, probably a similar distance. We're not going to be fishing too far out, 30-40 yards. I'm just going to spread a bit of boilie over there. Right, all it's left to do is to get spread a boilie out over both these rods, and I am going to be using 18mm bug just to try and avoid those smaller fish as much as possible. Now, I've given the boilies a little bit of a coating of something new, which I'm not 100% sure if I'm allowed to talk about just yet, so I'll leave it out for now, but I am excited to use it. This is the first trip out with it, and I am looking forward to see how we get on. So I'm just going to get on with this, get a bit of boilie out there, and probably get the kettle on, have a coffee. Really is good to be back out on the bank, but I've made my first mistake already. I forgot to bring a chair. Now I do have a little bait bucket with me, so that'll have to do for now. Fortunately, my dad is coming down in a couple of hours time. He's going to be doing a little bit of fishing himself, so I've dropped him a message and he's going to bring one for me. Now I have just seen a fish show probably about 10 yards past me, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. If we'll have to move a rod we will, but I really am busting for a coffee, so I'm going to get the kettle out, make myself one of them, and hopefully we'll be able to pick a fish or two off. It is good to be back out on the bank, sat behind a couple of rods and doing a little bit of carp fishing. Now the forecast for today was given to be about 2 or 3 degrees, but I actually think it's a lot warmer than that at the minute, especially now that sun's came over that far bank margin. Now I have just seen a fish show over that left hand rod, which is a good sign, so I'm hoping it won't be too long before we pick up our first fish. And that right hand rod, usually it would have went by now, so I am going to redo it, and I might even stick a little mesh bag of pellet on that rather than the 2 bait stringers. Now I have mixed it up a little bit from last time it was on here. If anybody watched the last one will know that I used a lot of small baits and I got hammered by small carp, and I'm trying to avoid them as much as possible. So this time round I've stepped away from the smaller baits. I've came away from the coloured hook baits and fishing matched the hatch bug hard hookers on both rods over a scattering 18mm boilie. Now the lake I'm fishing's very coloured, it's very silty, and do colours make a difference when the water's that coloured or not? I'm not 100% sure, but one thing that I do know is fishing over a lot of attraction, getting a lot of smell in the water definitely pays off, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Right, we might have our first take here. Well, it's not really doing too much. Yeah, it's fish on. It's a bit of an odd take, that. This is the one out to the left where I'd seen that fish show earlier on. Doesn't feel too big, but it's a bite. Is that a carp or a tench? Oh, it's a small carp. Oh, near fell over. Trying to avoid these little fish hasn't really worked, has it? Although the bites are a lot slower than what they normally are on here. But we'll get them out and we'll have a little look anyway. Right, there we go then. And these are exactly the small fish that I'm trying to avoid with those bigger baits, but unfortunately this one managed to pick it up. But it's a bite, so I shouldn't really complain. Now I have got that rod back out there. I just need to put another scattering of boilie over the top, but hopefully the next one will be a little bit bigger. Right, that is that left hand rod redone with another spread of boilie over the top. Now what's interesting is that the open water rod went first. It's usually that right hand rod up against those snags that produces most of the fish, and quite a lot of fish. I usually receive a lot of liners on that one as well, but this morning it's done absolutely nothing. But I have just redone it with a little mesh bag of pellets, so I'm hoping that'll nick us another fish and hopefully something a little bit bigger. Today has definitely been a lot slower than what it usually is on here, and because of that, and just out of interest more than anything, I did make a change and went back to a small hook bait, little mesh bag of pellet up that right hand tree line, and it really didn't take long. What we had was probably around 2 or 3 pounds, so just slipped that one straight back. I've taken that small hook bait back off and went straight back to the 18 millers. Now I'm hoping by leaving that one out there, we're going to pick up something a little bit bigger. The 18 mil baits are definitely working in that sense that we're getting less bites, so I'm hoping the longer it sits out there, the more chance we have of picking off one of those fish that we want. Nothing has happened for the last 45 minutes or so, so I have just pulled the rods in. I've came for a little bit of a look around just to see if I can see anything that might be worth dropping onto for the last couple of hours. I'm just on my way back to that swim I had a little bit of a look at this morning. If I see anything, I'll definitely be dropping onto it, but it's been a real slow one today. I am putting it partly down to those bigger baits I'm using, because I proved that whenever I switched over to a much smaller bait it did go quite quickly. But I'm just in this swim now. It does look quite good down here to spin you around. So this wee bit over here is actually a little bit of an island, and you've got these reeds here just in the margin. It always does look good, and you've got a little inlet down in here. I've been stood here for probably about 10 minutes or so, and I've seen absolutely nothing down here as well, at least nothing that's worth moving on to. So I'm really, might just sit in my hands, stay where I am, say I only do have a couple of hours left. But I did want to just quickly give you a little bit of an update on what I've been doing over the last couple of months and what I've got planned for this year. So over the last couple of months, I don't know if anyone's watched the last video, but I think I did mention that I got a boat, so I have been concentrating on a little bit of pike fishing over the winter, and I have set myself a target of trying to catch a fish of over 20 pound. Now I'm not going to give too much away just yet. I haven't came close, well, I haven't got that 20 pound fish, but I have had some nice fish, and I do hope to try and get that video sort of finished by the end of the winter. I'll probably have one video that will cover the whole winter on the boat, because I am for the most part a carp fishing channel. Now as I'm filming this, we are coming up to the end of January. We'll be heading into February next week, and to me spring is just around the corner, and for me what that means is getting back onto the syndicate, and I've got 4 trips planned over there this year. Really looking forward to it, because if anyone watched the videos from last year, there's a couple of fish that I'm after. There's a few fish that I'm after, to be honest, but there's 2 in particular, and I'm really looking forward to getting back over there to try and target them. One of which is a big ghosty which goes mid 40, and the other one which is obviously the Albert, which lives in Gaunts, the Oxfordshire record, which was last out at 57 pound I think, and it hasn't probably been out for about 18 months or so. So I'm sure you can imagine I'm absolutely busting to get back over there, and I will be getting back on there in March, so keep your eyes on the channel for that. But for now I'm going to head back to the swim. And there we go. It's definitely a little bit bigger than those couple we had this morning. I've already redone that rod and put another spread of boilie out over the top, so I've probably got about 45 minutes left, so it's definitely time for one more, but I'm going to get this one straight back. Left hand rod is just gone right at the end of the session, so this probably will be the last fish. Again, just another little one, but 4 fish today, which hasn't been too bad. Definitely beats being in work. Just going to send this one on his way. Right, that's going to be me for another video. I really do need to get packed up and get myself to work, although I do have one rod left out there, so unless it goes in the next sort of 10 minutes while I'm packing up, that last fish will be the last one. Now it hasn't been too bad of a day. I've had 4 fish all together, so it was definitely worth coming out for, although we didn't manage to get any of those bigger fish we're after, but there's always next time. So I just want to say a massive thank you if you watched the video. If you do like what you see, please do subscribe to the channel. It really does mean a lot, and I'll see you on the next one.